From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! Welcome to the weekly episode of the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And believe it or not, my name is still Chris Jaggs. Shocking, I know. Before we get into this, can I give a massive shout out to a returning guest? Yes, welcome back, your friend and mine, Monday. And the crowd go wild. Yeah. Yes, poor Monday is upon us once again. At the beginning of another great week of opportunities, possibilities. There's just so much for you out there in the big wide world. What will you do with your week? So last week we had an introduction into public speaking. Just the basics with a bit of background on where you could start if public speaking. You know, speaking in front of others was something that you wanted to improve or, hey, even begin. Now this week is part 2 of the adventure, where we can dive into 15 ways to help you improve your presentation skills. But look, before we jump in, let's get those important messages out of the way first.
You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Subscribe and never miss an episode.
Recorded live from a secret underground bunker, this is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast.
Alrighty then, let's get right into this and improve our public speaking, shall we? Now, whether you just want to be able to speak in front of a small crowd of people without shaking like a leaf, or entertain and capture an audience like maybe Steve Jobs or Tony Robbins, there are some steps you can start to take to help calm the nerves and set you up for a better presentation. And here are my 15 best tips to improve your presentation skills today. Number 1, practice. Obvious, right? Well, actually, it is. Now, naturally, you will want to rehearse your presentation multiple times. While it can be difficult for those with the packed schedule to spare time to practice, it is essential if you want to deliver a great presentation. If you really want to sound great, write out your speech rather than just taking a chance to wing it. Maybe you're good at winging it, or maybe you just need that script. If you do get nervous about speaking, a script will be your very best friend. Maybe not the type you can take to the pub for a beer, but you know what I mean. Now, if you can, try to practice where you'll be delivering your talk. Do a practice run for a friend or someone from your family. Or try recording your presentation and playing it back to evaluate which areas you feel may need some work. Listen to recordings of your past talks can clue you up into the bad habits that you may be aware of, as well as inspiring the age-old question, is that what I really sound like? Tip number 2, transform nervous energy into enthusiasm. You know, if you watch a boxing match, when the boxers come down to the ring, they have their little ring walk songs playing, don't they? You know, like Eye of the Tiger from Rocky is an obvious one. And maybe I'm wrong, but have a lot more of these become a little bit hitting the bass and hip hop tracks? Why? Well, it can pump you up and help turn your jitters into focused enthusiasm. The question is, would you really feel like that if you came to the ring with the wheels of the bus playing? Nah, you wouldn't, would you? Well, maybe someone would. An enthusiastic speech can win over a passive one. Have a look at Inky Johnson, Eric Thomas. They really go hard at that stuff. I've said it before, but they are motivational hurricanes coming right at you. Number 3, attend other presentations. Now, from what I said in the last episode, watching speakers gives you huge insight. It's good to listen to what they say, but more insightful to watch how they say it. Body language, how they capture the audience. And the other part of this is by attending presentation of other speakers, you can show your respect while also giving you a chance to, feel out the audience. What's the mood of the crowd? Are the folks in the mood to laugh, or are they a bit more stiff? Are the presentations more strategic or tactical in nature? Another speaker may actually say something that you can play off later in your own presentation. Tip number 4. Now, obviously, but arrive early. It's a simple point, but not everyone understands how it helps you prepare. It's always best to allow yourself time to settle in before your talk. Extra time ensures you won't be late and gives you plenty of time to get adapted to your presentation space. Tip number 5, adjust to your surroundings. The more adjusted you are to your environment, the more comfortable you will feel. Make sure to spend some time in the room where you'll be delivering that presentation. If possible, practice with a microphone, play about with the lighting, make sure you understand the seating and be aware of any distractions potentially posed by the venue. Maybe there's a noisy road outside. This is where trying to practice in the venue will really help you come into play. Number 6, meet and greet. Do your best to chat with people before your presentation. Talking with audiences makes you seem more likable and approachable. You can ask event attendees questions and take in their responses. They may even give you some inspiration to weave into your talk, which in turn could lead to you delivering content that is at least valuable to one person interested. Number 7, use positive visualization. Whether or not you're a Zen master, know that plenty of studies have proven the effectiveness of positive visualization. When we imagine a positive outcome to a scenario in our mind, it's more likely to play out the way we envision it. Instead of thinking, I'm going to be terrible out there, and then seeing yourself thrown up mid-presentation, imagine yourself getting tons of laughs while presenting with enthusiasm, poise, and charm. Positive thoughts can have an incredible effect. Go on, give them a shot. Tip number 8, take deep breaths. The go-to advice for jitters has truth to it. When we're nervous, our muscles tighten, and you may even catch yourself holding your breath. Instead, go ahead. Take those deep breaths to get oxygen to your brain and just relax your body. Remember the Homer Simpson advice. Picture the audience in their underwear. Well, it may help you. Tip number 9, smile. Now, smiling increases endorphins, replacing anxiety with calm and make you feel good about your presentation. Smiling also exhibits confidence and enthusiasm to the crowd. The key here is to not overdo it. No one enjoys the crazy clown look. Tip number 10, exercise. Exercise early in the day prior to your presentation to boost those endorphins again, which will actually help elevate anxiety. Go for a run, a workout, hey, even have a dance. Number 11, work on your pauses. When you're nervous, it's easy to speed through that presentation and end up talking way too fast, which in turn causes you to run out of breath, get more nervous, and panic. Don't be afraid to slow down and use pauses in your speech. Pausing can be used to emphasize certain points and to help your talk feel more conversational. If you feel yourself losing control of your pacing, just take a nice pause and keep calm. Tip number 12, don't try to cover too much material. Yes, your presentation should be full of useful, insightful, and actionable information. But that doesn't mean you should try to condense a vast and complex topic into maybe a 10-minute presentation. When I'm about to see a presentation, if while sorting out the PowerPoint, sometimes the presenter will be able to show just how many slides there are. And if it says 60 slides coming up, then you're in danger of losing my attention, as well as possibly a lot of other people. Knowing what to include and what to leave out is crucial to the success of a good presentation. I'm not suggesting that you skim through it when you have the data and include useful slides, but when you get down to a well-edited presentation that's relevant to your main points, that is when the excess material can always be used in another presentation. Tip number 13, actively engage your audience. People love to talk and make their opinions heard, but the nature of presentations can often seem like a one-sided proposition. It doesn't have to be though. Asking the audience what they think, inviting questions, and other means of welcoming audience participation can boost engagement and make attendees feel like a part of the conversation. It also makes you, the presenter, seem much more relatable. Consider starting a poll or a survey. Don't be put off by unexpected questions. Instead, see them as an opportunity to give your audience exactly what they want. Tip number 14, be entertaining. Even if your presentation is packed full of useful information, if your delivery bombs, well, so will your session. Including some jokes and light-hearted sides is a great way to help the audience, and of course yourself, just feel more comfortable, especially when presenting them with a great deal of information. However, it is important to maintain a balance. After all, you're not up on stage in a comedy club, and people didn't come see your presentation with the sole intention of being entertained. But that said, don't be afraid to inject a little humour into your talk. If you're not sure about whether a presentation is too much, run through it with a couple of friends and ask them to tell you straight. Remember the Pat Flynn example, having an argument with his mind. Still one of the funniest presentations I've ever seen. And finally, tip number 15. Don't fight the fear. Accept your fear rather than trying to fight it. Get yourself worked up by wondering if people will notice your nervousness will only intensify your anxiety. An old regional manager I had in my previous retail world was incredible when presenting. He knew all his stuff. He knew facts, he knew figures. He held the talk well. He'd done it so many times, year after year. But in reality, he spent an hour or so before just gearing himself up. He was always nervous, but when on stage, well, he always smashed it. Remember, those jitters aren't all bad. Harness that nervous energy and transform it into positive enthusiasm, and you'll be golden. I believe in you. We believe in you. Come on, let's do this. And that is my 15 tips and tricks to improve your presentation. Even if you can start to work on just a few at a time, they'll become a part of your natural routine. Before long, you'll be nailing every single point of it. If you'd like to have some one-to-one coaching with presenting, then you can really start to nail some of those points. Jump on my calendar at ldlcall.com, find the perfect slot for you, and we can get you moving in the right presenting direction. Right, that is all from me today. Have yourself an incredible day, an amazing week. Keep smiling, keep chasing the dream, and I will see you in the next one.
This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast.
Nice.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.